Every single business has a customer.
That I'm actually not just a ticket.
If you've got a problem, go out of your way to ensure that that problem is fixed. Don't put it onto a bot.
People do business with you. How are we making our customers feel?
This morning I want to talk about AI. Is AI helping businesses to improve service, or is it helping businesses decline and cause a distance in service? The part of AI that I want to address is chatbots.
Absolutely. Chatbot. You know, it's amazing how you see it everywhere. Whenever you go onto the internet, any service that you're looking for, there's always this little thing popping up and asking you,
Can I help?
scaringly so, is can I help you? What can I help you with?
How do you think clients feel when they speak to a chatbot and at the end of it can't get hold of a human?
If I have to talk about myself, I immediately start thinking is will they be able to answer me? Because I am one that can actually have long conversations. And sometimes it feels to me like I'm confusing the chatbots because I'm not getting the information. So I actually just have this craving to speak to people in person.
Every single business has a customer. Every single business. If they didn't have a customer, they wouldn't have revenue. Point blank. And now you encounter a problem and you get through to a chatbot. And it's happened to me. In fact, this month I've cancelled 3 companies that have used chatbots without a human interaction at the end of it. So I understand the need to use it, but please, can I speak to somebody at the end of going through all the questions on a chatbot? Number 1 was a particular security company. Now, in South Africa, you need security. The alarm goes off, my phone rings, and I'm speaking to a chatbot. So, thank goodness everything was fine, and no one was in danger. But to speak to a chatbot in that type of industry, unacceptable. In fact, all industries. The second one is we work a lot online. I had 2 platforms. I had a certain problem, and I hope you don't mind me telling the story, but when I had the problem, I was referred to a chatbot, and then I put in a question, and these 10 or 20 specific pick a topic comes up. None of them, on both, had the answer on the chatbot to the problem that I was saying. So I said, please put me through to a human. And then the same chatbot and the same questions came up. And then I said, well, I'm not sitting with this.
Where did you go after that? You have cancelled. What made you cancel?
To encounter a chatbot is totally unacceptable. You can do the chatbot, but from the chatbot, we need to be able to speak to a human being.
I know that feeling so well, because when I eventually get a human person on the other side, it's that feeling of relief that I'm actually not just a ticket, that I'm being valued.
Yeah.
I get the value of chatbots.
Absolutely.
In the sense of providing a quicker service for the obvious aspects that to allow people to be able to really focus on the customers, to really focus on the service delivery. So I think there's a value in chatbots, but it's important to have the balance between the chatbots assisting quick, but if it continues too long, I just go somewhere else.
Which has happened. So I've cancelled three companies in the last 2 months, and I've moved to another company with a CRM system, pipelines, funnel systems that they offer you. They do have a chatbot, But I promise you, you ask a question twice and they put you through to a human. No, I'm going to stay with that company. Because how does that make me feel? It makes me feel respected. It makes me feel cared for, heard, seen, valued. And that's how customers want to feel. Now, let's go back to the ROI on this. I'm one person that's cancelled 3 subscriptions. How many people have done that? I can tell you I'm not the only one. So what's the return on investment of having a chatbot that does absolutely nothing for you? In some instances it does help people, but when you have a severe problem, you don't want to talk to a chatbot. You want to speak to a person that makes you and sorts out your problem immediately. And that is where businesses have to be very careful today in how they're using the chatbot. Because customers don't want to be robotic. My age, I'm learning it. Do I use AI in my business? Absolutely. Do I have a chatbot coming up on our website? Yes, but it's going to be directed to a human, based on how I cancelled 3 subscriptions. So
I agree with you, Lydia, and I think that's where we are in a time frame. We are in an era where AI, automation, is definitely here to stay. And it definitely makes the efficiency of running a business, it really assists with that. Where businesses are, I think, losing their real value and where their profits are going to be affected is if we over-rely on AI, in this case chatbots, and we lose the human connections. Because if we talk about South African, we have the phrase, we talk about Ubuntu. I am because we are. There's a sense of community, there's a sense of connection, there's a feeling that I matter. And the businesses that's going to win are the ones that really find a balance, I think, between automation and efficiency and the human factor and trust. So if we are jumping on the bandwagon of automating everything, we are slowly losing our customers. And when we start losing our customers, our profit starts leaking. And then we are really in trouble.
Yeah, no, that's an absolute.
What do you think? How should AI bots effectively be used in business?
I don't have a problem that they're used in business. You remember, the bots are there if you have a problem. So you, for example, you go and buy a fridge. You spend a couple of $1,000 on a fridge. Now you phone the store that you bought it from. Not phone, you go onto the website and there's a bot. You give the problem, the fridge, whatever the problem is with the fridge, they can't come up with an answer. You then have to send an email to them. So that's double work. Why don't you just pick up the phone and phone them and tell them that, speak to somebody. But that's not allowed. You have to go through the bot first. So for me, it depending on the industry that you're in. Look, all industries have customers. So for a customer to feel frustrated after 3 minutes of trying to get help on a purchase or on a problem that's happened, is causing a problem. Like I said, I've cancelled 3. I'm one person in South Africa. I don't know how many are doing it worldwide because the assistance does not come quick enough. The human connection is eliminated. And customers, doesn't matter what you're buying, they want to feel respected. If you've got a problem, go out of your way to ensure that that problem is fixed. Don't put me onto a bot that can't assist.
That's interesting that you mentioned that, and I remember you've been saying it for years. People do business with people. And it's important for us to realize, where's the balance? Yes, the pressures are getting worse on companies. We need to move faster. We need to deliver quickly. We need to really make sure that things happen fast, otherwise we are remaining behind. So there's definitely a need, and AI bots can assist with that, but we have to remember, how are we making our customers feel?